All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Buck Don't Know Shit. It is another beautiful day in the garage, beautiful day in Texas. I'm wrapping up my day and about to, go to work. So just kind of in here cleaning up, making things a little presentable in the garage. And I was just thinking, I have a problem. I have issues. I will never, ever be profitable in this venture. Not that I'm trying to be. I haven't sold anything. I don't have anything for sale. I'm not trying to be profitable. But I think most of us doing this would at least like to know that we have an asset sitting there that could help us recoup most of our money we spent. I will not be anywhere close, nowhere close. One thing, I can't afford to buy the good cars up front, right, and then fix them where they're actually worth something. So I say I can't. By the time I spend all the money, I probably could, but then I wouldn't have the money to fix it up, and you know the story. So we buy cars that are less desirable for less money, and then we dump a bunch of money into them, and they're worth like $4,000 more than what we paid for them. After we spent $20,000 and countless hours, maybe not countless, but I mean, it's a number, but a lot of hours, right, fixing them. And this Mustang is a perfect example. I bought it, $8,500, a bunch of parts, and I still have a bunch of new parts. Probably not $8,500 worth, but if I had to guess, $4,000 or $5,000 worth of parts. And it does have a upgraded engine, 351 Windsor, which did not come in the 67. AOD transmission did not come in the 67. So I have a highway gear to go down the road, and I have a 9-inch rear end, which did not come in the 67. So there are some things that are upgraded on the car, make it a little more desirable, a little nicer. But as I'm digging into it, and I've talked about this, there are lots of things that need to be fixed. And you can see I don't have a suspension anymore. I got a little bit left on that side, but got that off. No rear, like everything's out of the car. Like there's almost nothing left. Got a little bit of suspension on that side, a few brake lines, and that's it. And this car will be stripped. So that wasn't my plan when I bought this car. My plan was to finish putting the panels on, get the doors on. I knew I had a little bit of rust in the rear area. I was going to fix that just like I did with the Thunderbird, no problem. But then I get to looking at the car, and it's like the suspension is old and dirty. Needs at least new rubbers. At the end of the day, it was old, rusty, dirty parts. I mean, you can look at like that spindle in there. I mean, you can see it right there. It's like it's never been cleaned. It's like the car was being rebuilt, being redone, but they didn't go through those extra steps that myself, I just have to do. I know if I bought 100 cars, I would probably take most of them, maybe not all the way apart. Like I didn't take the engine or transmission out of the Thunderbird, but I regret it now. I regret it because it's got leaks and it's got things that I wish, I just, there are things that I could have done better, cleaning up the engine bay, getting more things cleaned and painted and just looking a little nicer. If I would have taken the engine out, taken the transmission out, that's the only things I didn't take off, that and the doors. But I just feel like I would have done a better job. And that's where I'm at with this Mustang. Obviously, I took the engine out. So I'm going bare bones with it. And the weird thing is I'm not a perfectionist in life. I mean, you can look around my garage. There's a lot of disorganization. I'm definitely not a perfectionist. I am that's good enough. And I've been like that with the Thunderbird, but there are certain things I don't like double working. I don't like going back and redoing things that I have already done or things that I could have done. And I think that's where I stand on this. It's like the cars that come to you, things need to be taken off. The hard part a lot of times is the taking off. So get them off, fix what needs to be fixed, and move forward. And that's where I'm at on this car. And I have opened a can of worms. I really have. And I think as long as I buy used cars, old cars, I will continue to do this. It's just like what feels right to me. So I don't know how y'all feel about it. I know I've talked to a lot of people and they're just like, just send it. Just get it running, get it down the road, have fun with it. And they're probably right. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to build a reliable car that I can drive a lot, or my stepson can drive a lot and drive every day and not have too many problems with it. And another way I look at that is to, when I have done all the work and I have taken everything off, put everything back on myself, it is really easy for me to figure out what is wrong with the car. And I've run into that with a Thunderbird. Like, I know that car inside out, wiring issues, things, and I can almost immediately diagnose what's going on with the car before I've even, like, Carly drives it, something happens, she tells me, I know what's wrong with that, I know how to fix it. And it's easier to fix because the stuff is fairly clean, the bolts aren't seized up, it's not all rusted together, and you know, things are just easy to take on and off now. So, and that's how this Mustang will be. And actually, the guy had done some work and put stuff on, and it actually has been fairly easy to take this car apart. Even though I don't understand why he did some things, like why he didn't go ahead and take all the control arms and sway bars and that kind of stuff off and clean them. The strut was still the same strut, had never been cleaned, same rubbers. Like, you're doing all this work, putting bigger engine, bigger transmission, different rear end. Why wouldn't you, like, do that? Like, that stuff's kind of cheap, actually. Buying ball joints and rubbers for struts and rubbers for control arms and things like that is fairly cheap. And yeah, just do it. I don't know. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to tell y'all, I'm sitting here thinking, like, you know, maybe some other people have problems. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe. But yeah, I definitely cannot stop once I start digging into one of these things. It's kind of weird. So, and I don't want to say I lose sleep over it. I don't, but definitely things are in the back of your mind. Like with the Thunderbird, I know there's like a little rust spot under the rear wheel well. Just small on both sides, not a big deal. The sheet metal on the outside is not rusted. I don't think it's a thread rusted, but I think about that. I'm like, that would have been nice to fix. But I didn't do any body work on the Thunderbird, so it's kind of like I didn't want to open that can of worms, but I know I need to eventually, right? It's like, it's coming. If I keep that car, I'm going to have to do the body work at some point. Even though the body's in good shape, it really is. There's no rust on the fenders. There is a little bit of bubbling on one of the lower panels, but like, you really can't see it unless you're like right up on it. So it's like, why worry about it at this point? So I don't know. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I think I started looking at dollar bills and realizing that I'm not good at this. I want to upgrade the suspension. It's just something I want to do, and that is not going to be cheap. It is not cheap. I want to buy a rotisserie. That is not cheap. Because I don't want to do this work on my back, and there is a lot of work that needs to be done underneath the car. It really is. And get that fixed, and this car will be really in really good shape. It really will. So but it's the type of stuff I feel like it's gonna rear its head if I let it go. If it was garage kept and you never drove it, it'd be fine for years, decades probably. But we're gonna drive this car a lot, so it wouldn't be fine. So it needs to be fixed correctly. So I guess maybe that's what it is like I really plan on driving these cars. That's the thing. So you need to fix them right. They're not just for trailer into a car show and getting in line and letting everybody come look at it. That's not what these cars are intended for. They're intended to get used. And that's how I justify the price, because I'm going to use them. We're going to use them like vehicles. They're vehicles. They're just cooler than buying a used sedan like the Camry. So, which I'm never getting rid of that car either. And one day, I kind of plan on tearing that car apart and fixing and cleaning and repainting, and one day, even though that's a huge waste of money, but I like the car. There's just something about it. It's a 99 Camry. What's not to like? It's pretty awesome little car. It really is. Every time I drive it, I'm like, man, this car is badass. I raced a F-250 yesterday in it. We wasn't like legit, but we both took off from the red light, and he wasn't like just necessarily letting me gonna outrun him, so we had a little showdown. He beat me, but anyway, that's all right. I'll get him next time when I soup that 6-cylinder up in that puppy. Get a few more horses out of it. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Anyway, like and subscribe. Please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Am I crazy for dumping all this money into these cars? I don't know. Maybe I am. Definitely a waste of money. I could be investing it or doing something smart with it. But I have spent money on all kinds of stupid shit throughout my life. So don't know why I should stop now, right? So anyway, y'all have a great day. Enjoy your fall. It's fall, even though it's hot, but yeah. And talk to y'all later.